Hi, eco-intelligent eaters and cooks. It's Candy Lee Cole back in the kitchen, and I've got another great smoothie recipe to make for you today. This one is an absolute nutritional powerhouse. It's one of the most nutritious smoothies in my book. It'll fill you up and you'll be full and having energy for hours after you drink it. So what is it? It's in my super smoothie book, and the name of the recipe is Gentle Fig and Mother Grain. Love the name of this recipe. Love what it's all about. It's on page 155 of my book, and it just has a few simple ingredients that go in it. Quinoa being one of them. This is the mother grain, as you can see. It's not really a grain, it's a seed, but it has the benefit like of a whole grain. It's got the perfect blend of amino acids and fats and proteins, so it's really nourishing. And if you cook it up and have it on hand, as I do right here, I've got about 3/4 to a cup's worth of cooked quinoa that I've had it in the fridge for a couple days now. So that's really the way to do it when you're making a smoothie. Just have that grain already cooked, so you're not getting up in the morning and cooking grain just for the purpose of making a smoothie. But you have it in your refrigerator, and you can just pop it in to the drink and add it for fortification. So the quinoa is one of the ingredients, and then we also have some dried figs that I soaked overnight. You don't have to spend that much time soaking them. You could soak them in an hour's time if you wanted to. But these are just Turkish figs that I picked up at the co-op this weekend, and I like to use Turkish figs or Kalimurna figs. Figs are such a great source of fiber. They're naturally sweet, but not too sweet. They're not as sweet as dates, for example. And they have all kinds of health benefits, minerals like calcium, magnesium. And interesting thing about figs is that they lower estrogen in the body. So if you have a problem with too much estrogen or toxic estrogen, as we all do living in this toxic environment, we're all affected by the environmental xenoestrogens. This is a great food for deactivating and detoxifying that estrogen from the body. So those are two of the main ingredients, and then we're going to put in a little bit of almond butter for some extra protein. This is a great little addition to a diet if you're an athlete, for example, and you're looking for different ways to get protein. We'll add a little bit of vanilla flavoring. We'll add some rice syrup, and rice syrup is very easy to digest. It's cereal grains that have been cooked down with enzymes, so the starch in the grain is pre-digested, and the sugars are easy to digest and won't spike your insulin. And then we're going to blend it up with a little soy or rice milk. So lickety split, let's get to it. We'll just add the quinoa first here. Just dump it in the blender. And quinoa only takes about 20 minutes to cook, so it really is a fast food grain, as they call it. And then I've got several soaked figs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You probably don't need that many, and there's some little tips on the figs that you might want to cut off before you soak them. So put those in there. I think that's a good amount. Put in a little vanilla flavoring, maybe about a teaspoon. And I always eyeball things. You know that about me by now. But the recipe, ingredients, and amounts are in the book. I'm going to put about a tablespoon of the almond butter into the drink. And almond butter, it's low in saturated fat. It's great for the heart. It's good for weight loss. They've done all kinds of studies about that. So you can feel good about eating that. And eat it in moderation. It is pretty rich. I'm going to add a little bit of the soy milk. And as I said, you can add rice milk too. The original liquid called for in my recipe book was a malted vanilla soy milk, but I haven't seen that sold in years, so I don't even know what happened to it. But we'll start with about a cup of liquid, and I will come back after I blend this. Okay, we're back. I blended it up. It tastes absolutely delicious, and I wanted to show you that I added just part of the water that's called for, and what I got here is a very thick, almost like a breakfast cereal. You could heat this up actually if in the winter you wanted to eat this, or the fall you wanted a nice warm breakfast. You could just take this smoothie and warm it up. You could serve it kind of like a little hot, sort of like a malt oatmeal cereal in a cup like this. So that's that texture. And then if you wanted the drink, if you wanted it more like a drink, you could add a little more water to thin it out. I can show you what that's like. So that's a little thinner and a little more pourable. We could even go thinner than this for a drink. But I just wanted to give you that idea that you can, you can have a drink type texture, you can have a thicker pudding type texture. And I also want to let you know that I added a couple tablespoons of the rice syrup while you were gone. I think I forgot to mention that. So while I was blending it, I added in a couple tablespoons of that, and it really all came together nicely. And quinoa really blends well. It just turns from the grainy appeal to a silky smooth texture, so it's really nutritious and really yummy. And I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you'll try it. Okay, see you next time. And just when you thought you were done with me for the day, I have a little afterthought. Okay, so after tasting it again a second time, I thought this might be really good with some banana flavoring, which is not featured in the cookbook recipe. So I have some banana flavoring extract right here from Frontier brand, which is pretty good in a pinch, or some frozen banana. So you could add just a little chunk of that to the recipe, or you could add maybe 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of the banana. And it just kicked it up a notch in flavor. It just gave it another new dimension. So I just thought I'd mention that. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.